As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them. Forgive your enemies, but never forget their names. The Chinese use 2 brush strokes to write the word crisis. One brush stroke stands for danger, the other for opportunity. In a crisis, be aware of the danger, but recognize the opportunity. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. We must find time to stop and thank the people who make a difference in our lives. Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable. Conformity is the jailer of freedom and the enemy of growth. The great enemy of truth is very often not the lie, deliberate, contrived, and dishonest, but the myth, persistent, persuasive, and unrealistic. Victory has 100 fathers, and defeat is an orphan. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard. If a free society cannot help the many who are poor, it cannot save the few who are rich. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. Public libraries should be open to all, except the censor. If this nation is to be wise, as well as strong, if we are to achieve our destiny, then we need more new ideas, for more wise men, reading more good books, in more public libraries. One person can make a difference, and everyone should try. A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on. Ideas have endurance, without death. If we cannot end now our differences, at least we can help make the world safe for diversity. Change is the law of life. And those who look only to the past, or the present, are certain to miss the future. We are not afraid to entrust the American people with unpleasant facts, foreign ideas, alien philosophies, and competitive values. For a nation that is afraid to let its people judge the truth and falsehood in an open market is a nation that is afraid of its people. Liberty without learning is always in peril, and learning without liberty is always in vain. Let us never negotiate out of fear. But let us never fear to negotiate. Mankind must put an end to war, or war will put an end to mankind. We cannot negotiate with people who say, "What's mine is mine, and what's yours is negotiable." Let us not seek to fix the blame for the past, Let us accept our own responsibility for the future. Without debate, without criticism, no administration and no country can succeed, and no republic can survive. If not us, who? If not now, when? A man does what he must, in spite of personal consequences, in spite of obstacles and dangers, and pressures, and that is the basis of all human morality. I'm an idealist, without illusions. Those who dare to fail miserably can achieve greatly. Art is the great democrat, calling forth creative genius from every sector of society, disregarding race, or religion, or wealth, or color. The ignorance of one voter, in a democracy, impairs the security of all. Our most basic common link is that we all inhabit this small planet. We all breathe the same air. We all cherish our children's futures. And we are all mortal. The courage of life is often a less dramatic spectacle than the courage of a final moment. But it is no less a magnificent mixture of triumph and tragedy. Those who foolishly sought power by riding the back of the tiger ended up inside. We need men who can dream of things that never were. The rising tide lifts all the boats. A child miseducated is a child lost. All this will not be finished in our lifetime on this planet. But let us begin. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth. Let us not be blind to our differences, but let us also direct attention to our common interests and to the means by which those differences can be resolved. When power leads man toward arrogance, poetry reminds him of his limitations. When power narrows the area of man's concern, poetry reminds him of the richness and diversity of existence. When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. I look forward to a future in which our country will match its military strength with our moral restraint, its wealth with our wisdom, its power with our purpose. The supreme reality of our time is the vulnerability of our planet. A boy spends his time finding a girl to sleep with. A real man spends his time looking for the one worth waking up to. The cost of freedom is always high, but Americans have always paid it. And one path we shall never choose, and that is the path of surrender or submission. The best road to progress is freedom's road. A nation reveals itself, not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers. Thank you for watching, and for supporting us.